Welcome to day 2 of the Copy to Cash Challenge. I'm John Benson, CEO of Benson AI, and here is your experience over today. If you want, you can go through all 5 of these training videos, or you can just take the one that you need the most. For example, if you need an email campaign right now, this one is going to be ideal for you. If you need an ad campaign, then you might want to go to the next video. You can do all 5 or one at a time, or just take 2. It's up to you, completely up to you. Today, the very first thing we're going to talk about is emails. Now, what is the purpose of email? It's kind of a weird way to start an AI tutorial, isn't it? But hey, I want to give you a lot more because I'm one of the top email marketers in the world, done hundreds of millions of dollars with email. So let me tell you, the very first thing you need to know about email is to get your leads out of the inbox and onto your offer page. The inbox is full of clutter. That's the last place you want to be selling something. You don't want long emails. You don't want overly complex emails. You want to control the experience of your users. So that means your emails need to be short most of the time and to the point. The goal here is to get the click. Get the click to a piece of copy that you manage out of that inbox with hundreds of emails and into a page where you control their experience. Now, what we're going to do this, there's a lot of different email variations we have in Benson, which we'll show you quite a few today. We're going to look at one of the many frameworks called lead magnet to sales sequence as our demo. In other words, I have a lead magnet, something to get people in off of Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and I want to maximize those leads. I want to convert those leads from freebies to buyers. So that's what this email framework is designed to do. It's been tested thousands of times, so we know it works well. It's a great place to start. And of course, you can add your own variations in here. You can clone emails and add it to this if you want to. But we're just going to keep it simple and start there. Then I'm going to show you some really cool variations inside the editing tool. So let's take a look at Benson right now. Now, the very first thing you want to know if you want to find frameworks is you go to Project Creator. That's where all of our framework libraries are housed. You're going to first of all select a blueprint, and I'm going to stay with our memory example because we're having fun with that, even though, again, I am not a memory expert. That was something we did in day 1. Hey, you're seeing me create this from scratch and seeing what's coming out of Benson from scratch without me doing an hour of work on a blueprint. You saw me do everything here, and you'll see me need to do some things to get this perfected. For example, I don't have a lead magnet title. I don't, it's not my offer. So I'm going to use Benson to create it all for me, right? Then I'm going to come over here and select the copy type I want, email campaigns. And for our personal, for our thing today, we're going to do a lead magnet. So I'll type in lead over here. And now I'm finding email campaigns for leads. And I see lead magnet to sales sequence. I'm going to give this a title, memory, offer, lead mag to sales. So in other words, I'm going to take somebody from an ad. Okay, so I would do an ad in a separate one. In fact, ads are the next video, so you can hold on for that. Wait, go through this one first. Come on, don't get too carried away. But the next one is the ads, so you can take the ads and blend all this together, right? Or maybe you've got a YouTube video. Maybe anything you've got getting people from traffic into your page. This is what you're going to want to use. And notice that this one has instructions. Click the magic button. Why? Well, I love this sequence. I love this framework because we not only give you all the copy with a click of a button, a few things that you're going to fill out here and there, but as you can see, we tell you when we think you should be sending it. How cool is that? Okay? We don't do this for every single framework, but this one's important. Lead magnet to sales, really want to make sure you optimize this. So here are your instructions. I'll save this. Got to save all the time. And then I'm going to come over here to the very first email sequence. Now, notice it's asking me quite a bit. What's your first name? Remember, we didn't give it. So I'll say John Benson, pretty straightforward. What's your position? CEO. Now, Benson wants to know a short story of your struggles and journeys to success. By the way, this is the most I'll ever have to fill out for basically anything I ever use in Benson. So you're seeing it right from the start. In other words, what's your backstory? Where did you come from? And I'm only going to give it a little bit. I'm going to say I used to struggle with memory. I was a poor student in college. Then I uncovered the connection between neuron health and memory. Now my memory is practically photogenic. By the way, none of this is true. I'm just using this as a demo. Okay, so now I wrote a little more than you would have to. You might say, you know, I grew up poor, I ended up failing in school, then I got really good at memory. That's it. You could just say something like that. You do not need to write copy, okay? I was just writing naturally. I'm a copywriter naturally, so this is pretty much how it comes out. Now, Benson wants to know, how do I sign off my emails? I'm going to say, remember this, remember me. Okay, John. Okay, kind of funny, right? That's your signature. Like if you say sincerely yours or whatever. Why do we ask that specifically? Well, because people have unique ways of signing off their emails. They might have a catchphrase that they use. They might be John Benson PhD, right? CSCS, or whatever the consonants that follow my name might be. Now it's asking for a free report, a checklist, or a gift, and I don't got one. Oh no, I can't use this, right? Wrong. I'm going to right click right here on Blueprint Memory Offer College Students up here at the top right hand corner. I'm going to open that in a new tab, and I'm going to go over to that tab right now, and notice if I hit refresh, when I hit refresh it will show my name and everything, but I'm just going to go down here, I'm going to do Command F and search for lead magnet, and notice that it's all blank, right? I'm going to click the plus button, create magically. I've got all these ideas Benson just gave me for lead magnets. How cool is this? Okay, retain more, study less. Okay, great lead magnet. I'm not going to go any further. Done. I love it. Okay, perfect for college students. But what about the details? Same thing. How hard is this, folks? I'm just clicking buttons. I like that one. Done. I can come in here and edit it. Again, if you want to edit, remember, you can come in here, you can just edit it yourself here. So, but what's this? What is a lead magnet hook? And if you don't know, just roll over that little question mark and it will tell you. Does your lead magnet have a hook that might make it irresistible? Well, I would love an irresistible hook, wouldn't you? Okay, great. Let's click this, create magically. Cram without cramming. That's just really interesting. Okay, study hack revealed. I love cram without cramming. I've never seen that before, by the way, because obviously Benson's creating things from scratch. So cram without cramming is a really cool hook. It's like, here's how you cram without having to go through the cram. It's a hook to get people in right from the bat. So now I have something that I didn't have 15, 20 seconds ago that I can use in my project. I come over here. If I can hit continue, I don't have to worry about this because I've already done it. These fields are actually filled out. I'm good. Just hit continue. Click the magic button. And I've got my very first email that goes out. And I want you to notice how Benson writes. Benson writes emails conversationally. He writes like a real person. It writes extremely strong direct response emails. This does not sound like ChatGPT. It sounds like a human wrote this. I get why struggling to improve memory has been such a challenge. I went through my own challenges so I can relate. See, it's very personal, right? Okay? So it talks about the challenges. I used to struggle with memory. I was a poor student in college, etc. If everything I just wrote doesn't know your URL, so you just put it in here, okay? Now, I call it cram without cramming for good reason, okay? Tell me about this free bonus that I'm just going to get right here. Why do you want to tell them about it in an email if they just clicked an ad to get the bonus? Because most people click an ad, they opt in, and they don't go to the download. They get the email first. A lot of people will check their emails before they go to the offer download. Some people will have already downloaded, a lot of people won't, and this way you can make sure that they get this in their mind. Exactly what it is. Again, you're reminding somebody what you want to see. Now, let's say, for example, I'm going to save this, and I'm going to say, I love it, but I like to write punchy emails. And I personally do. I like to write emails that are 1 sentences and 2 sentence paragraphs, really short. And see how this is kind of long? I can actually select inside of here and click this little button, this little lightning bolt, which is Refiner. And that's the same thing as down here, except now I can refine just a selection of text. And I can come in here and say, you know, I want you to create ellipses and remove commas. And watch what happens. Now it just breaks it up. Ideal for students, professionals, anyone that wants to learn efficiently. See, I love that type of copy. If I like it, hit replace, boom, done. And I can do the same thing throughout this entire thing. I can choose this and say, you know what, it's a little wordy. Let's simplify it. Just type in simple. I just want to simplify this. I like it, I just want it simple. Okay, So it stripped it down, made it a little bit more simple. Boom. I can retry it if I want, replace it if I want. I can focus. I can do anything I want inside of this offer. So let me tell you a little bit about focus. I'm going to save this because I like this. Now let's say that I love this, but I want to focus this email on a specific topic. So this is talking about study skills and education. That's all good. So I want to focus on late night cramming sessions and how you get around that. So I'm going to click this icon down here, which if you hover over it, it says Focuser. And I'm going to say, type into this field, I want you to rewrite and focus on no more late night study sessions. Maybe say all night. Okay, so I'm going to run that and see what it does with that refocuser. This is not a prompt. It's actually telling it. It's a complicated way to be complicated to explain it, but trust me, it's sort of promptish, but not really, so it's not going to work like a ChatGPT prompt. It's just going to slightly tweak things as we go, okay? So let's see how it did this. Used to struggle with memory. I used to pull all-nighters and struggle with memory. Now, my memory's, see, it worked it into my story. It didn't say like, oh, you have to, now you can get away with not studying all-nighters, because maybe I didn't want to make that promise. It made it conversational, okay? Cram without cramming, all this is right here. Notice it's all broken out the same way it is. I love it. I'm going to hit replace, and boom, I've got that. I'm going to save that, and let's just pretend, for example, that I want to get really radical. See, I can come down here, and I can create an article from this email. I can turn this email into a 300-word article. I can create longer paragraphs. I can make it more exciting. I can make it more urgent. But let's say that I want to come down here and say, I want it to be juicier. I want it just to be, I want juicier language in here. I want it more visceral. So now it's going to write it a little juicier, okay? So it's talking about, little things are changing. Like it's calling it hurdles that I've overcome. Unusual insights, okay? So really cool. I'm going to replace that because I just like it a little juicier. But let's say I also want to be a little sarcastic. Well, I'm going to come all the way down here and say smartass, or put it on steroids. If I want it to be bold, put it on steroids. We name our refiners stuff that's funny because I think AI should be fun. I don't think this should be a pain, right? So smartass, exactly what it sounds like. Let's just, oh, hey, welcome. And yeah, there's a freebie. See, if you are a little bit more laid back, a little bit funny, maybe a little bit controversial, then thrilled to be here. No, I really mean it. You see how this is turning it into completely humanized language? And that's what these refiners do. So this works on a process that's very cool. AI is much better at refining something than it is at creating something. What we've done with Benson is we've taught it how to create only following very specific frameworks, guidelines, patterns, formulas, things that we know work, campaigns that we've tested over the years so we know that they work. Then it takes that original creative that sounds really awesome and refines it to however you want, and it makes it even more human, even more to your personality type, even more to what you want, okay? So I've cracked the code on memory and study skills. I'm no wizard, but I got some tricks up my sleeve, okay? So maybe I want this, maybe I don't. If I don't want it, I just click trash. Now this is a little crash course on this tool called refiners. You're gonna love them. They're gonna make your copy sing, and you can remember, you can refine or focus anything you want. I'll give you an example, one more thing of focusing. Let's say my experience has revealed some unusual insights that can help you. I'm going to take that line of copy, and I'm going to click Focuser, and I'm going to say, you know what? I want to focus on bad habits. And I'll just say, focus this on bad habit. And whatever I've got in my blueprint, it's going to try to weave it into that. I've uncovered how bad habits like cramming it for exams and procrastinating can be tackled with some unusual insights that can help you. Notice it worked it into the copy, and it worked it into practically seamless, right? So I just click replace, boom. So now, if you know your blueprint, now you see why you should really know your blueprint. You can say, oh, you know what I really would love to mention there is the secondary goals of my user. Or maybe I want to mention a freebie that I have. Maybe I want to tell a little bit more about my own backstory. Let's say that wasn't in there. Great, you can do that. Now, I want to show you a couple of tricks here that you really do need to use, okay? These subject line choices, they're good. They're actually tailored to work with this. But let's just pretend for a second, I'm going to save this, that I want different subject lines. Here's the way I would do this. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to select a blank space. What I did is I just held down my shift key and I hit the right arrow and I selected a blank space. Why did I do that? Because I know the subject line wizard will replace the copy that I've selected, but I don't want to replace these subject lines. I want to create more subject lines. So check this out. Go to Refiners, click here, type in subject line wizard, watch this. Okay, welcome to your memory revolution. Boost memory with neuron health. Say goodbye to all-nighters. You see how much more specific those subject lines are? If I want that, that's awesome. I can also just copy this right here and come up here and just go this. Welcome and say goodbye to all-nighters. Okay, why? Because that's the hook of my freaking lead magnet. See how cool this is? Now it's starting to really come together. Now I can trash this because I don't need it and save it. Subject lines galore. And by the way, you can also do the same trick if you want different subject lines. Come over here and use headlines. Headline wizard and subject line wizard, you would think they're different, but subject lines and headlines work interchangeably, okay? Top doctor reveals #1 tip for memory. Avoid all-nighters with this easy trick. You see how they're a little more strong, they're a little more bold. So if you're more bold, go with the headlines. If you want something that's really catchy and simple, go with the subject lines. Very cool trick to learn. Okay, now I'm going to show you a really, really cool marketing trick. This has nothing to do with Benson, except Benson wrote it for me. How cool is that, right? I'm going to trash this. I love this subject line. Say goodbye to all-nighters. I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to come down here, download it here where it says lead magnet URL because I didn't put it into the blueprint. Here's what I'm going to do. Check this out. I'm going to put a couple of little carrots here. Say goodbye to all-nighters. I'm going to turn this right here into my hyperlink to get this offer. Or in this case, it's a lead magnet. Why? Because they clicked on this. I know they're interested in it. So why not repeat it? And usually I'll repeat it word for word. Now this is a trick right out of my book, Open Click Buy, that was written about 7 years ago. And it's one of the best books on email marketing. If you want to get it, it's on Amazon. But it's a cool trick to use. Use the same subject line and link text because you already know they clicked on it, they actually like it. So why not make sure you get the click and just replicate your subject line and click and text link. I think that's a really cool trick. Wanted to show that to you. Now, we're going to show you one more thing inside this email tutorial. I'm going to show you, first of all, I'll just generate a couple of more emails just to give you an idea. Like, here's the next step. I just click here. By the way, it's asking for the URL, so I'll just type in the URL. Obviously, that's not it, but that's okay. That way, click the magic button. You see how hard it is? So hard, right? It's a few days. It's important to me. Go here. Boom. Punchy. Conversational, remember me, all done, right? Oh, if you have an extra freebie like a YouTube video, you click here and you can type in, and this is a great trick, okay? I nearly let this slip by me. Look at this. Since you showed interest in retain more, study less, that's the lead magnet, I got additional free resources for you. This is one of my top strategies. Grab it here. Now you'll probably change that URL, but now you've got, see what Benson is doing? It's saying, hey, you know what else you need in this series? You need a second freebie to give somebody. But you might not have had a second freebie. This can just be a YouTube video, it can be a free video, it can be a PDF checklist, but this is helping you market, not just write copy. Although copy is king, copy is the king, the thing that will make your business soar, but you also need great marketing, and that's what this has got. Now, the next step is just to introduce the offer. How does this work? Well, we have to have what the name of the offer is. Remember, we don't want to name anything. We want to come over here, type in offer name, and let Benson create it for us. So what do we want to call this? Well, let's find out. Okay. Memory Master, Study Smarter, the breakthrough course for busy college students. The Brainy Student's Guide to Memory Mastery. So ACE exams effortlessly. Okay, so I kind of like this brainy thing. It's a little bratty, so I kind of like that. I'm just going to keep that. So there we go. And I am going to rewrite this. So I'm going to delete this. And I realize I'm pulling from something that already existed, but that's okay because I want to do it myself. And I'll show you what happens when we do this here. I'm going to create these two things magically, okay? Boom. That's simple. Come back over here, and I'm going to hit refresh. Command R. Goes away. Don't need that. Doesn't need it anymore. Now, call to action link. Where do you want them to go to register or to buy it? So HTTPS, buy my stuff.com. Okay, whatever the URL is. But you see, you don't have to write any copy to use Vincent. You just have to fill in a few blanks, and you only do it once. Okay? Now, look at this. I get it. By the way, that starts off with NLP. I get it. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. We've trained Benson on NLP, so it understands it. It understands that if I use phrases like buy now. So, for example, I use all the time in my VSLs. You know, by now, you realize that X, Y, Z. Well, I've got multiple NLP things inside that sentence. Buy now is an embedded command. Buy now, B-U-Y-N-O-W. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference. I say buy now all the time. And now that I say it, you hear it, right? Pretty cool. Get it. Do you get it? Get it, implying a command to get this, to get this. This is really cool now. And so I said, by now you realize that. That's called presupposition. I am presupposing that they realize this. I don't say, by now you probably, I say, by now you realize that the only way to get good copy using AI is with Benson. So I've just completely inserted that into your mind. That's NLP. Benson is writing this for you. You don't even have to know any of that stuff. You feel overwhelmed trying to memorize all the stuff thrown at you. Okay, like information. Let's say, oh, I like it. Okay, I love this, but information, it's a little too technical. So why don't I come over here and just say, kill the poet? Let's take the poet out of that. Just one word. What would he do with one word? Stuff. Isn't that great? Okay, so do you see what I mean? You can get this, all the stuff thrown at you. I just wanted to take away the poetic stuff, right? Kill the Poet is one of my favorite refiners. You will love it. You will come to love it. You wish you could remember everything more easily. Ace your exams without cramming. Boost your performance in school. If that sounds good, you need this offer. We're talking about a comprehensive video training course, etc. Boom. There you go. Your first promotional offer written like that with one simple refinement. And I would just go through here and do the same thing on all of these. I've got my entire campaign ready to go in minutes with brands and names and stuff that I didn't have when I first started. But we're not done yet. I'm going to show you something cool. I'm going to come over here to the project creator, do the same exact thing I did, go over here to memory. We're going to use our college students since we've already we're making that blueprint really sing. Come over here to email campaigns. And then I'm going to go to the email generator. Email generator is trained on some of the highest converting emails of all time. And we have what's called the magic promotional generator. If you want to send promotional emails and you want them to be spelled out, like you're going to spell out the offer, all you do is this. Imagine you have an important test coming up. You try to remember all the facts, but when test day comes, you forget most of what you studied. This happens to a lot of students. It's not fun. Sounds nothing like what comes out of ChatGPT or Claude or anything else. It sounds like direct response copy. It sounds like copy that works, because it is, okay? Now, it's telling a story. It goes you right in here. You'd hyperlink this right here, right? That's what I would do. This guy doesn't just tell you to study more. It shows you how to make your brain stronger. See, the language is so simplistic. It's so to the point. Extremely important stuff here, okay? I could save that. I would copy this into a Google Doc. I would just copy and paste it into a Google Doc. And then what I would do is hit this. And it would give me a totally different variation of it. So now I can test variations of it. Very handy to do. Now, one thing you're going to want to do, if you don't want to save something, you don't have to save it. You can generate it, you can copy and paste it, and then you can regenerate over and over and over again. That's kind of cool. You can now also do content emails. So if I need something to send out to my list that's not promotional, check this out. A simple trick for better studying. Ever feel like you're studying and nothing's sticking, like you're spending hours with your books? One common mistake is to try to cram. What's the solution? Break it up. Now Benson's teaching me how to study. It's like, okay, this is great. I don't have to think of hardly anything. It's pulling all of this from my blueprint, but I didn't have anything about my, this tip in my blueprint, because now it's using its own AI prowess to say, what are some tips that would fit this avatar boom, it's even writing toward that avatar. Notice the language is very much like a college student would like. You also want to come over here and check out the short form teaser emails, because teaser emails are short to the point, they don't give away the offer, and they will get much higher clicks often than full promotional emails. So this is perfect if you want to tease your audience. Okay, make studying easier. Super good, super simple subject line, okay? Ever struggle to remember? It's not just you feel overwhelmed. There's a way to make it easier. Click here to see how you can do it. Just super good direct response. Now, if I can do little things like this, if I come in here and say, do not start with a question. And I'm going to show you this, because if I run this, boom, many students feel overwhelmed and stressed. It's not just you. There's a way to make it easier. I like that better. Now, other people like questions, but I started my last email with a question, so I said, I just don't want to start this one with a question. That's all Focuser does. Okay, I'm going to refocus this, not start on a question. Super easy to do. Okay, now you've got a couple other frameworks that we know really work well, and these frameworks are perfect for you if you want to do something to get a few more clicks. I want to show you one of the four here. Now we got a ton of email stuff in there. There's hundreds of frameworks in there, but just going to show you this. Now, this is asking for that short, catchy phrase. What is that? Lead hook. Remember we did this before? I'm going to come back over to the blueprint. Lead hook. Click this. Click this. 2-minute memory hack. Done. That's just too sexy. Love it. 2-minute memory hack. I hit refresh. This will go away. Magic button. Did you hear about the 2-minute memory hack that enhances your recall abilities overnight? Okay. Okay, studies show that this is pretty incredible. Okay, so I'm going to boost it back up to the Zoom here. 1 second, guys. Now, check this out. Don't waste another second on cramming all night for exams. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Relying solely on rote memorization, feeling overwhelmed by your study load. You could hyperlink all 3 of these if you wanted to. All 3 of these. You can do all sorts of cool stuff with quiz, including come down here to your refiner, type in quiz, and click pop quiz, and get a totally different version of it. And not only does it make a quiz, what simple trick can boost your memory in minutes? Which daily activity can triple your memory power? And make each one of these a link. So you got 3 times the ability to click. But look, it also gives you the study answers right down here for yourself. Kind of convenient to have. So I might replace this whole thing. It took the idea behind it, turned it into a quiz, and now I got even better questions to ask. That's how cool refiners and frameworks work together. Things that never existed exist now. All right, so that's the end of our email tutorial. That's the 1 step in 5. If you want to keep going, I hope you do, go over to the ads tutorial. That's coming up next. I wish you a lot of luck, and I'll see you there. Thanks.